this is Michael and Laura from Turning Leaf Crafts.
People ask us all the time what it takes to get started in upholstery. What's kind of a basic toolkit? How do you do this? So we've spread out today a few of the just kind of basic tools that we use. All right. So one of the first things that you would probably want to do is get a copy of a good reference manual. And the best one we found out there, the very best one, is this one. It's the Spruce Step-by-Step Guide to Upholstery. It's great. It's fully illustrated. It covers just about any operation that you're going to find out there. Amanda Brown's the author for that one. So that's really good book. We use it still, even though we sort of know what we're doing now. Yes, it's like the upholsterer's Bible for us. So it works really great. So sort of some basic tools. We've got, your standard Needlenose Pliers. You find those anywhere. Those are handy for pulling staples out and different things like that, tacks and things, and different tack pullers and staple pullers. These are a little bit specialized, and there's a company out there. There's not a whole lot of places that have these things, but C.S. Osborne is the name of the company that makes a lot of upholstery, kind of specialized upholstery tools.
They're in Harrison, New Jersey.
Harrison, New Jersey. That's right. So
this one's cheap. It came from Walmart, but it works. Essential.
It works.
It's tiny.
It's got small. The prongs on it are small. So you'll find different pieces are put together different ways. Some have lots of tacks, especially if it's really an old piece. Some have staples and the different kinds of staples that may be there.
Tacks, the nails.
Yeah. And then we've got a hammer. This is actually, strangely enough, not an upholsterer's hammer. This is a Japanese plain hammer.
It's my favorite.
But it's a really handy hammer.
It's flat on one side and not on the other.
Yeah, it's got a curved surface on the other. So turns out that it's a really well balanced and handy hammer. And then we have a rubber mallet that we've padded with some cloth on one end.
That's good for hitting the upholstered stuff that's already upholstered.
So it doesn't damage the upholstery. Yeah, so tack strips and things like that when you're. And then a good pair of shears. These I think came from the upholstery shop.
Weiss.
Yeah, Wiss the name WISS I think. But they're really good. And then there's some Fiskars, plain old Walmart scissors. And those are for thread, right? Those are thread scissors, a little tiny.
You can tell you do the sewing.
Looks like a swan. Yeah, I'm totally the professional here. I know exactly what I'm talking about. And an awl, different kinds of awls and ice picks and things are good. What do you do with that, Laura? What do you do with that awl? What's that handy for?
I use this for button tufting.
Button tufting, okay. That's an advanced skill. We won't cover tufting today so much, but and then
A handy dandy screwdriver. Core drill is amazing.
Yeah, that works too. And then this is what do you call this, a regulator? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, so what do you do with that?
This is C.S. Osborne too. Helps to tuck things in. Helps instead of an
pleats
awl.
and things like that.
Yes.
Folds. Yeah.
Just to lay everything nice and flat. This is good for the tufting also.
Okay, finding your spot. Yeah. Nice and sharp. Be careful where you put that. What's the chalk for?
I use the chalk to mark, and if I want to if I'm making a cushion, so I can make sure that I mark everything, or the decking, the bottom of the sofa, or the chair, just to make marks. And I also use it when I cut fabric on the bias, and I use my yardstick for that, so I can make piping, welt cord piping, whatever.
Okay.
And I make it this wide, and then I mark on each side. I use the chalk a lot.
So you use it to mark fabric where you're going to cut and things like that.
Right.
Okay.
This, of course.
Yep.
Tape.
Yep.
Essential.
Got to measure, and then we also have again prominently displayed the C.S. Osborne name. We promise they're not paying us to do this.
I wish they would.
Yeah, it'd be great.
C.S.
So
Osborne,
C.S. Osborne
like
looks up. We've got a webbing stretcher. So if the webbing in the bottom of a chair, if it has to be replaced, the jute webbing, then this you use to tighten that up and make it nice and tight. So you've got a nice tight seat. These whole times on there, they're sharp to engage the webbing. So we've got an electric staple gun. We've had pneumatic staplers, but they weren't really designed for upholstery. This one is a 22 gauge stapler, so it shoots a pretty fine wire.
Well, they have a pneumatic
you can get
upholstery
those.
stapler.
Certainly,
but we're in a building where there are other people
And an
that live
compressor.
above us,
Yeah.
and we can't have an air compressor inside the city limits like that. So,
It'd just be too loud. It would disturb the peace. And
so we have to go with electric, unfortunately.
it works pretty well. It's just it's not as good, and it's certainly not as robust. This model isn't the one that we've got as a pneumatic nailer would be. So they make some that have a long nose for reaching into tight places. That's kind of on the wish list. We don't have one of those yet, but this model works pretty good. This is actually the second one we've had like it, but it works okay. It's not great.
Laura is hard on tools.
Yes, Laura's hard on tools. And then this little stapler, what do we use this little stapler for?
I use it instead of pins, sometimes to hold my fabric together prior to sewing.
For sewing, yeah.
Like when I make cushions.
Yeah, for
To
holding
keep it in place.
Yeah.
And then I remove the staples. It's just a temporary fix, but it works great.
Yeah, so cool. And then this little plastic piece is for spacing and holding the nail heads, so those little tacks that you see on furniture and stuff. So you place them in here, it holds them temporarily, and then you take your hammer and you start them, and that way you get them spaced properly. It also keeps you from whacking your fingers with the hammer, so handy. Handy tool.
Heavy duty thread
Heavy duty thread.
is awesome.
Okay. Tufting twine.
Button twine.
Button twine, sorry. Yeah, button twine. And that's spring.
Tying twine.
Yeah.
It's like a French twine.
Okay,
I think
cool.
is
Yeah.
what they call it. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, not sure if that's the exact
But
name or not, but it works good.
This is what you tie your springs with.
Tying springs, which is definitely an advanced skill. Seam ripper.
Always need a seam ripper.
Seam ripper, and it's like the undo button. It helps you to go back if you screw up sewing something, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Straight pins.
Straight pins, yes.
Always just regular straight pins. 2.5 inch upholstery pins.
Upholstery pins.
They're heavy duty.
Those are fancy. Also used for acupuncture. Just kidding.
Gosh. Okay.
All right, yeah.
And T-pins, which they make them in all different sizes. T-pins.
So we have various needles for different things, right? Different lengths and gauges. The really long ones are handy for
Tufting.
for
This
tufting.
Is what they're for. Tufting.
Okay.
Tufting. Tufting.
Okay, tufting. And tufting is what? When you've got the buttons that are buried down deep, that's tufting. So, what else do we have?
The only other tool I use is this.
Okay, so this is used for cutting fabric also.
We did it.
Used along with a mat to cut fabric instead of scissors.
And those are my basic tools.
That's it. That's kind of our kit right for now. Also a nice sewing machine, but it's
Vital.
yeah. We started out with a home.
And that lasted about a week.
Yeah, it didn't last long. So
And now
so
we have an
invest
industrial juki.
in a good sewing machine. It's worthwhile. Okay, so look us up on the web, turningleafcrafts.com.
Come find us. Look. Here we are.
There's our shop.